SAP SD overview, which we have started yesterday. So, are you able to hear me?
Yes, Venkat.
Okay. Okay. So, what is the high level overview of SAP SD? Like what it is intended for? What kind of functionality it is available, or what kind of functionality it has, what kind of functionality it has to support the customer, your client business process. So at very high level, uh, it helps you to take care of your customer order management. So is primarily SAP SD is primarily uh, designed for to support customer order management. So when I say the customer order management, so it's from right beginning from the inquiry to like you can say quotation, sales order, outbound delivery, and goods issue, that is post goods issue, and billing document, and also like subsequent documents like uh, credit memo, debit memo, or invoice correction list. All these processes are taken into consideration of SAP SD, are supported by the SAP. Okay? So that's what it is meant for. And also when you talk about SAP SD module, it is having the capability of highly customized solution. When I say the customized solution, uh, SAP itself SAP itself taken into consideration of all the industries, all kind of companies, or all kind of business processes in the SAP SD module. So that means irrespective of what industry it is, SAP SD has come up with all kind of supporting functionalities, or all kind of supporting application areas, or all kind of supporting features available in the SAP SD. And it is these functionalities are very customizable to the each and every client who is doing in the like trade process of in any country. And also it has the capability of like you can say very valuable pricing functionality, very valuable pricing functionality in the SAP SD module. So if you look at SAP SD module, so one of the strongest if you look at SAP SD module, one of the strongest uh, functionality, one of the strongest area in SAP SD is the pricing, because the pricing in SAP SD is very complex, and at the same time very useful to each and every client who is involving in the day-to-day business processes. So when I say pricing, how it is very useful, and how it is really helpful to the each and every client. So when you look at any order management, or you look at any customer order, so what is going to happen at any point of time once you receive the order, like deciding the price, or you can say like giving the right price to your product in the transaction is very important, is very important. So that means if you create a sales order, if it has a, 20 products, if you create a sales order which has 20 products in it, then what happens? Then what happens? Uh, in order to identify, in order to determine the total value of the given sales order, what we need to do, or what the system has to take care. The system has to understand what is the price. Our SAP system has to understand what is the price for each and every product in the transaction. That is, what is the price for each and every product in the your sales order. So if it has 20 products, in order to identify the total value of like sales order, the total net value of the sales order, okay, the system has to come across, the system needs to know what is price, and what is the price for each and every product, and what is the discount for each and every product, and what kind of discount it is. That means whether it is like total value based discount, or whether it is quantity based required. So like this, the system has to understand, and the system has to identify the price, for each and every product in the functionality. And again, this has to be this price determination has to be done in the automatic process, right? So do you feel it is good, if you do you feel it is good, if you enter the price to the product manually? What do you think?
No, it will be exhausting actually. We cannot do that.
Exactly. It is very big task which we cannot do, or which we are not supposed to do, because when you start doing the updating the price manually to any product in the sales order, or when you start updating the discount to any product in the sales order, so there are many risks involved in it. So as Vijay already mentioned, it is very exacting job, and it's very big task, and at the same time there is always a possibility of some human errors will happen. So sometimes instead of giving $10 discount, you may be giving $20 discount by chance. Okay, there are many complications when you start using the price for a product in the transaction manually. So because of that reason, what SAP did, SAP come up with a solution called SAP has come up with a solution called price determination, pricing determination, or pricing procedure determination. So that means if you set up the price information, if you set up or if you maintain the price information in the background, if you maintain the price information for each and every material in the background, or if you maintain the discount information for each and every material in the background, what happens when you create a sales order, or when you create a delivery, when you create a sales order, when you create a the customer sales order, the system automatically determine that price. The system automatically pick up that price from the your background data. Okay, basically that is one of the best part of SAP SD module is it's a complex, user friendly, pricing functionality. So that means when I say the complex and user friendly, from the system perspective, from the consultant perspective, so we are going to be the consultant, right? We are all going to the consultant, in the client place. Okay, from the consultant perspective, it has many steps which we need to follow. There are many configurations which you need to do in the background with respect to the price. At the same time, when you look at from the user perspective, when you look at the end user perspective, you know that, right? The difference between the consultant and the user. Umaira, you know that, right?
Yes.
So the consultant is a person, is a team member who will design the system, or who will configure the system. We are the consultants who will design the system in the background. So once we design the system, once we configure the system in the background, Okay, in the front end, the business users start using the system. So from the user perspective, with respect to the price, they have very simple task. From the end user perspective, they have very simple task. That means they just need to maintain the price record for each and every material, or the discount record for each and every material, or the freight record for each and every material. That means from the user perspective, it is very simple. When they try to maintain, just to maintain, they need to use one single transaction, and they need to specify whether it is the price or a discount or freight, what kind of excise duty, whatever it is, and just maintain the value. So that is what the end user will do from his side. But whereas, in order to determine that condition record, or in order to determine that price record in the sales order, in order to determine that discount information in the sales order, in order to determine that freight information in the sales order, as a consultant, we have to do so many things. Okay, we have to come across very complex pricing structure, which takes you some time to understand, complete flow from the beginning to the ending of the pricing determination. So that kind of very the best functionality is available in the SAP SD to support the pricing related things. And then we have something called available to promise. Let me put this way. Okay, when you create a sales order, in the system, let us say, Umaira, you are able to follow, right? Umaira,
Yes, Pankaj.
just stop me. I will definitely take into consideration that you are not. I will always remind myself that you are not having SAP background. Okay, but still, if in case at any point of time, if I miss that, if I forget, and go one step up kind of thing, just ask me. Okay.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay. I hope Virendra and Vijay, you are good with that. You are good, right? Anyway, you are already habituated to my teaching, and also that I think you will be okay. But just please stop me. Even if you have any questions. Okay.
Sure, sure, sure. Thanks.
Oh, no problem. And the next thing is when you create a sales order, Umira, can you think of it? What has to be done? Well, let us say you create a sales order for the customer. You create a sales order for the customer, like 10 products, and you save the sales order. You create a sales order for the 10 products, and you save the sales order. Save means you record the sales order in the system. Then can you think of it, what things has to be taken care after that? Umaira, can you just think of it?
Would be the purchase order if I have to create a sales order. Then maybe the customer details.
Okay, you are talking about the information which you have to enter while creating the sales order, right? That's what you are talking. You are answering. You are explaining that what information has to be entered in the sales order when you create it. But my question is, let us say you specify the customer in the sales order, you specify the product in the sales order, okay, and also you specify the the delivery date in the sales order, and all information you specified, and you save the sales order. Then what do you expect after that? What process will be expecting later? Or while what do you expect while creating the sales order? So what subsequent activities you guess, or what do you think? What subsequent activities has to be taken care by the system?
Uh, Checking if material has been
Excellent, excellent. Checking.
material available.
Yes, that is the main point I'm looking, from you people at this point, because when you are creating the sales order, okay, once you specify the delivery date and product and quantity, so the immediate expectation from us, or immediate responsibility for the system is to verify whether the product is available for the given delivery date or not. So the system has to verify, the system has to look for whether the product is available for given the delivery date or not. For that, what it has to do? For that, what the system has to do? So
System has to check whether the products are the product is available or not.
very good. So that means the system has to check whether the stock is available for the product or not. So first of all, whether the stock is available in the warehouse or not. So even though the stock is available, there are some other things it has to take into consideration, right? For example,
What are the pending orders?
exactly, exactly. That means even though your sales order quantity is 50, and even though the stock is available for 50, but we cannot assume that that 50 stock can be used for our sales order, because there may be some other previous orders which has to be taken care by the stock, or there may be some other kind of stock transfer which has to be taken care by the system. There are many things has to be considered by the system while doing, like this availability checking of the goods to conform to your sales order. So that process is called available to promise. Available to promise is nothing but the system will make sure, the system will check for, whether the system will help you by promising, the system will help you by promising whether the stock is available or not. For that, what it has to do, it has to look for what is your requirement, it has to look for what is your requirement, and also it has to look at what are the outgoing requirements and what are the inbound requirements. So when I say outgoing requirements, the previous sales orders and other stock transfers, okay, these kind of things will be taken into, like, outbound. When I say inbound, for example, the purchase orders which we created, or the stock in transit. Sometimes what happens, the stock, like, in transit from the vendor to your company. So by taking into consideration of all the safety stock in transfer, okay, and outbound requirements or inbound requirements, by taking into consideration of all these things, the system will give, the system will promise you whether the stock is available or not. So that functionality is nothing but, that functionality is called as availability check in SAP SD module. Availability check or availability to promise. So this availability to promise or availability check functionality will take care of, make sure that, this availability to promise functionality will make sure whether the goods are available for your sales order in a given, for a given delivery date or not. So that is taken care by the, like, availability to promise. And also, and next, and next thing what we need to understand, let us go back to our, the sales order creation process. So when you are creating the sales order, so what other functionalities you are looking for? So like you already understood that the system has to look at, whether the stock is available or not.
Yes.
And also, like, it has to look for the pricing. Okay, it has to look for whether the price is available or not. If the price is available, the system has to assign the price to the product in the transaction, and then it has to look for whether the stock is available or not. If the stock is available, it has to give the delivery date, that the scheduled date. And what else it has to take care when you create a sales order?
It has to take care of shipping point.
Okay, that is actually, Vijay, you are correct, but let us put let us put it as a, like, the technical point, but general business perspective. Try to uh, think, Vijay. So from the business perspective, so it has to look at, whether the customer is having any outstanding credits or not, right?
Credit side, yeah.
So we need to make sure, we cannot simply sell the goods, we cannot simply deliver the goods to the, like, customer, even, who is not made the payment for the previous shipments or the previous deliveries or the previous orders, right? We need to handle, right? So that means what the system has to do, whenever you are creating the sales order, the system has to look for what is the total net value of the transaction, what is the total value of the transaction, okay, and also it can compare with the total value of the transaction against, the credit limit given by the customer. So that means what happens, what we can do, like, even in the regular business process, at any point of time, when you are giving, like, the credit opportunity, or credit to the customer, we take into consideration of, so what is the total credit limit allowed for this customer with, like, for a given business transaction, right? We need to consider that, right? So what we need to do, we have to look at what is his credit limit. For example, if the credit limit of the customer is $50,000, if the credit limit of the customer is $50,000, then what we need to do, we have to look at, our we have to look at our sales order, the system has to look at the sales order net value or the total value. If the sales order value, the sales order total value, the transaction value is greater than the credit limit specified in the system, then what do you expect from the system? Do you think the system still allow you to go for the further transaction, Umaira?
Should block.
It should block. That means the system should put a credit block. So whenever the sales order value, the sales order total value is greater than, the sales order total value is greater than the, okay, your the credit value, then the system has to put a block to that sales order, so that system should allow the order to save. The system should allow the sales order to save, but it should put a block for, it should put a credit block which will stop the delivery process. That means, stopping the sales order creation is not a good idea, right? Sales order is just order. We are not going to lose anything. We are not going to have any issues, by just creating the sales order. So for that reason, how SAP is designed, SAP designed the system to, even though the credit of the sales order, even though the total value of the sales order is more than the credit limit of the customer, okay, SAP designed the system to save the sales order but put a credit block. So what will happen if you put a credit block? Whenever you put a credit block to the sales order, it will allow the, sales order to save, but it will not allow to create the delivery, or it will not allow to create the goods issue, or it will not allow you to create the billing document. So that kind of facility is there. So basically that all can be taken care by, credit management. Actually this functionality is called, credit management, but the reason for, the integrated credit management is, so the credit management of SAP SD module, the credit management functionality of SAP SD module is integrated with, finance team, because at any point of time you cannot decide on your own, so the credit limit of the customer, or what kind of credit the customer is allowed. So for all these things, we need to work as SAP SD consultant. We need to closely work with SAP FI team, SAP finance team, okay, to set up the credit management. Even from the system perspective also, the system will integrate all the credit management functionality with, like a FI model. So that's why it's called as integrated credit management. And also integrated ATP means, so this availability check functionality, or availability to promise functionality, what it does. So in order to fulfill the customer requirements, in order to determine whether the stock is available for a product or not, it has to integrate with, PP. The PP and, the procurement and the production planning, the materials management and production planning departments has to be integrated together with SD module to take care of this, availability to promise or availability check. So these are the, the strong areas of, SAP SD. Or when you claim yourself your SAP SD consultant, you should thoroughly know about what is pricing, how the pricing works. So SAP SD means pricing. So without pricing, you cannot say you are a like an SAP SD consultant. So whether you know X or Y or Z, that doesn't matter, but you have to know pricing. If you do not know the pricing, you will not get a single opportunity at all. I mean to say that if you go to any job without questions on the pricing, you will not come across any interview. So that is you can say the pricing is the heart of SAP module. Okay, that's like that, and it has its importance. It has its importance in the system. Okay, pricing. And even next, availability check. Availability check also having the very much importance, but maybe you can say like that it is the second level of SAP SD functionality. And the credit management, it's still the same kind of weightage, but the thing is, now this functionality is slowly moving to the FI area. There is some other module called financial supply chain management, so it is going there maybe. But still, as a PCPSD consultant, we need to know the complete credit management, the complete pricing, and complete availability check. There is also something called some other functionalities. I will in the next class, uh, I will go through you all the topics what we'll be covering as part of our 40 45 hours of training. 45 hours or 50, whatever it is. We'll take care of like each and every functionality which will help you in the current market. So that is my goal. And one minute. Actually, I thought I could manage today because we have some function going at home, and at the same time, my son is like he's not feeling well. Can I stop now and we'll continue next week? Because I since it is second class, I don't want to say like no class today, but I just want to like continue for some time and then inform you. Okay.
Sure,
No
sure,
problem.
Venkat.
Probably next week onwards, we'll try to spend more than 1.5 hour. Okay, more than one and
Okay,
a half hour. We'll try to spend Saturday 1.5 hour and Sunday 1.5 hour. But as I told you, I'm not going to rush to complete. But I wanted to uh, uh, take it as a very very I can say detailed way. That's my goal. Okay, I wanted to uh, consider it as a detailed way because in two ways, it's my way how I deal any subject, and the second way, I need these sessions as my reference recordings, because this is the the first and last batch which I am going to take care for SAP SD in US, because I used to take classes in India when I was in India. But right now, what happens, I'm only taking care of SAP